Hello, my name's Jade and you're watching Asclepion. So for those who don't know, I'm a 5th year medical student at the University of Cambridge, and today I have a video for you guys which is what's in my ward bag / useful things to take on the wards with you. So as a medical student, when you are doing your clinical studies, you will find yourself on the wards and there are certain things that are really useful to have with you. So I'm just going to be talking through what I take with me on like a general like ward-based placement, and yeah, hopefully give you guys some advice if you don't know what to take with you. So yeah. So I have my ward bag here. So I have this emerald coloured Radley bag, and as you can see this is kind of like a small to medium sized bag. I would say that this is probably the largest kind of bag you can take on the wards. Obviously you can't take a proper handbag with you, so I'd say this is a reference as to size that you can go up to. So one thing to say is that you don't have to worry about your bag. It doesn't have to be branded, unbranded. Essentially you just need something that's going to carry the stuff you need. What I carry with me might not be everything that you want to carry with you, but you know, we all have our own preferences and this is just what I do. So let's get on. So I'm just going to go through my bag in terms of what I would normally carry, but I think first of all what's worth saying is that I would obviously already have my essentials on me, which is my stethoscope and my lanyard. So obviously I would already be wearing those, but the main way that I divide my bag up is kind of like clinical essentials, things that like I would recommend taking on the wards, and then personal things that I carry in the front compartment. So opening my bag, I would say the first and possibly most important thing that you can carry with you on the wards would be your Oxford Handbook of Clinical Medicine. Now this is a staple for medical students. Like, you don't have to necessarily buy your own copy, you may be able to get it from your library, but I would definitely recommend. It's really useful for just looking things up on the go. It's a really kind of like concise overview of each presentation. And one thing I would say is that obviously this is the like general handbook which has got a bit of everything in, but at the moment I'm doing obviously gynae, paediatrics and psychiatry and things like that, so you may want to also look into getting a copy of this, which is the clinical specialties version. And this obviously just has the more kind of like niche specialised departments in, which is also really useful to have. So depending on what you're doing, you can have one or both of these with you, so definitely recommend having those with you on the wards if you like. I know they do a smaller version which is meant to be pocket size, and you can also get it on your phone, so it's just about preference. Definitely recommend these. So the next thing that I would suggest taking with you on the wards would be either a small notebook or a diary, or just something where you're able to make notes, look at your timetable, whether this is on your phone or I like to have it in written form. So what I have here is like a diary that I carry with me. So I also have my timetable in here, and I like to make notes and also have it like the day that I made the note. So this is just so that when I like think back like and want to look something up in the future, I can be like, oh, what was I doing at the time? And then it kind of makes more sense to me when I'm looking it up, and I'll remember the case that I saw or why it is that I wrote it down. So I would definitely recommend just having something where you can write it down. It doesn't have to be a diary, it doesn't have to be this big. This is the biggest diary I think I've ever owned. So yeah, just definitely something to write notes with. So when it comes to making notes, I think it goes without saying that you need a pen. So I would always carry at least one pen with me, because there will always be a registrar or a consultant or a nurse who needs a pen, and you can always offer one to them, but make sure you get it back because pens just go missing in hospitals and I don't know how. There must be like a gold mine somewhere with pens in, so yeah, keep pens on you and keep an eye on them when you offer them out. So also in this compartment of like general medical stuff that I think you should have, you can carry a pen torch. So I bought this myself, I think it was around £1 on Amazon or something like that, really inexpensive, and it's really useful to just have on you. I think you can use it like at all stages of your clinical medicine. So when you're doing general, you can use it for a cranial nerve exam, and when you're doing things like baby checks, you can also use it then. So yep, definitely recommend this. And there is a joke that when the consultant needs a pen torch, they will always say wear as a medical student, because we all carry them and no one else really does, but you know, they do come in handy, so definitely recommend. So that kind of concludes the main like really important like clinical stuff I would take with me on the wards, and then I think now it's kind of more things that like I take personally, like that I find useful that you may too. So I think first of all, I normally carry my phone with me, so obviously just keep this in my bag and have it on silent, you know, use it. Like I think a lot of the time in the hospital you don't have a signal anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but you know, keep your phone on you, so that's always handy. Another thing would be a hair bubble. So if you have like long or like medium length hair, it's really important to have it tied up in the hospital, and you may not go to the hospital with your hair tied up if you've got lectures or things like that, so always have a hair bubble on you because you never know when you're going to get caught out. So another thing that's really useful to have on you is some tissues. So this can be really helpful even if you're just on the water and someone needs one. You can always offer one if you've got them in your bag. In addition, another thing that I find really useful is to carry a lip balm with me, just because sometimes you can be on the water in clinic for like a really long time, and I just really hate when you have chapped lips, so I always carry a lip balm with me. That's an essential. And also with that, I would recommend carrying a little bit of money with you, so I've just got a few pounds here, because sometimes you can find yourself caught out where you're in a ward round or in a clinic that overruns and you really need to like grab a quick bite to eat or a drink before your next session, and sometimes you don't have time to get a proper lunch, so it's really useful to just have a little bit of money on you that you can just go to the cafeteria or somewhere and buy something with. And on the same strand, it can be really useful to carry just a small snack with you. So I just have some like oat bakes here. But yeah, so it can, like, I know a lot of people do carry like a small cereal bar in their bag or in their pocket, just because it's a really quick and convenient way to grab a quick bite to eat during the ward round on a little break. So I think that's pretty much everything that like I carry in my ward bag and that I would recommend to people like starting out, not sure what to take with them. You can obviously take as much or as little as you want, and you do have to tailor what you carry to where you are. So I know like at the moment I'm at GP and I don't carry any of this, to be honest. I mostly take a pen, my diary, and that's about it. I'll use my handbook in my breaks, because obviously where you are determines how much you can carry with you and how professional it looks having a bag with you. And similarly, when you're in surgery, obviously you don't take any of this stuff. Sometimes you will have your lanyard with you when you go into surgery, and then you put it in your pocket because you don't need any of your belongings in there with you. Another thing that could be useful if you're doing a neurology placement would be to maybe carry a tendon hammer with you. I don't carry this with me myself, but I know that sometimes they're really sparse on the wards and it's really difficult to find them. And if you are finding you're doing a lot of upper and lower limb examinations, it can be really useful to like have one with you. So once again, bought this from Amazon. It was really inexpensive, possibly like £1 again. And yeah, I think I bought it primarily for practicing examinations before exams in year 4. But if you do find that you need to use it a lot on the ward and you're struggling to find one, this could be useful. Not necessarily in your ward bag or in your pocket, because obviously this is way too big for that, but maybe just in your backpack or something like that. And don't always carry it with you because you're not always going to need one. I think that's about it. So I hope you found this video useful. Comment down below if there's anything that you take on the wards that you find useful that maybe I don't have, because you know, always open to suggestions and making life easier. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. If there's anything you'd like to see from myself and Qubekani, comment down below any videos or any questions you have, and we'll see you for the next video.